and welcome to the Book Over, a little book club where we talk about books, especially the ones that give us those book hangovers. I'm Sarah, with me is Megan.
Hi.
And today we are talking about a book that Megan has recommended a few times on our If You Liked This, You Will Like This social media posts because we think you would like it if you liked certain books. And it's the Evelyn Maynard Trilogy by Kaydence Snow. Kaydence Snow. There we go. Sorry.
Yeah.
Kaydence.
I always recommend it for like people who are asking for books like the Bond series.
Yeah.
I'll say this a lot. This is a good book for like
it's
that
a
book.
Good paranormal romance. So if you're into paranormal romances, I think, and yeah, if you're enjoying the Bonds That Tie series by Jay Bree, I think you would enjoy this series for sure, or trilogy because it's 3 books. Yes. So we're talking about books 1, 2, and 3 in this episode. We will try to warn you when we move on to the next book, but no guarantees.
Yeah.
So I want to say off the bat who I really, really like character-wise, who I love so much. Alec. I love Alec.
Yeah. He can be upsetting at times at certain moments where you're like, come on, dude, but it's part of the story. And I like that part of the story. So
he gives us the love that we earn. We earn it with him. I mean, he's a very, as you read the trilogy, you just learn so much and you're like, this is why. And this is, he's broken, but then the them working things out, it was just so rewarding.
I think he's like the best arc, dealing with his powers and their past. And it's a great story between the two of them and a great arc.
Yes. So, and he's the first one we meet besides Evelyn. So our main character's name is Evelyn, and we start off right off the bat with her fleeing with her mom, and she's pissed at her mother because it's her birthday and things always happen around her birthday and they're always traveling. So her mom doesn't tell her why, but she just knows, like, they know how to like forge documents, and she just knows the system. Don't make a lot of friends, or don't make friends, like keep to yourself kind of thing. And then, something will happen and her mom's like, it's time to go. And then within 24 hours, they're gone. So she gets a boyfriend, Harvey. Mom finds out because he gave her a birthday gift, and they take off. She's upset with her. She's also kind of like, why do we have to take off all the time? And then there's a plane crash, and that the plane crash was rough. Like, it gave me, like, if you just visualize, if you've watched Castaway, I mean, you just play the plane crash scene in Castaway and just move it into the book. Basically, you can visualize, like, it was just like the sound, like, and they shouldn't have crashed because, like, the co-pilot was a variant. So it's like a world with like humans and variants. And variants have like special abilities, kind of like X-Men, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
And then that variant that's the co-pilot can predict or control the weather, right? And so they're like, it should be a smooth flight. Well, next thing you know, the plane's breaking in half and mom's flying down to the ocean, and then Evelyn wakes up a few times in the water, dark water, and then she gets rescued, and she doesn't know how she gets rescued so fast, and ends up in the hospital. And that's where we meet Alec. He's the honey voiced stranger who's just he saved her. I just loved, and he stayed there. So you find out later that he kind of goes rogue, and he, from his other commitments, and is with her to make sure that she's going to be okay, and then he disappears. So then we go on to her new life where she's shy of 18 when this happens, so she still has to get adopted. Did she get adopted? No, she got adopted. Fostered?
I think it was foster.
Right. So she ends up with this sweet couple. She's finishing off high school, but she's like searching. She's smart. She's very smart. And she's searching for that that stranger that held her when she cried when she found out her mother didn't survive. Only herself and the co-pilot survived. So it was interesting. And was somebody else a variant who survived? Because I think they said only variants survive, but she's like, I'm not variant. So she was told her whole life that she did not have that extra gene or whatever.
Yeah, she was just human. Yeah.
So I love how she's like obsessed with trying to find him. Like I just, but I get it because she just really wanted to thank this stranger, you know. And it's like I understand that, you know. So
I think deep down she felt a connection, but wasn't interpreting it quite yet, right?
Right.
Like something that made her, yeah.
So what I love it because you guys, so then she's, you know, she gets invited to this college. And later you find out, can I say late? Yeah, why not? That like actually Charlie had a hand. So Charlie's another character eventually that had a hand in getting her invited to with a full scholarship to this special college that it's a big deal basically, and we'll set her up for life for like her career and all kinds of things. And so she leaves. She's just turned 18 when she gets the acceptance. And what I love though is you find out that like she's like searching like the dark web or whatever to find Alec, and you know, trying to figure it out, calling, you know, the what's it called, Myler. I'm saying it wrong. In my head it's Mueller. The group that the company that owned the helicopter and the people, the search and rescue people and stuff. So and so, you know, you find out that he's like using Charlie, who's like this like tech savvy guy, to like make it so she can't find him. And like there's a joke later on like how hard she like was trying to find him, and he was like really irritated because he always
I can't wait to get to that one. I want to talk about that hugging scene, but I guess we'll get there in a minute.
We're getting there. That's what I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get to that scene. So she gets accepted to the college. She goes to the college and she starts to like meet people. So she has roommates. Okay, we're gonna skip over the roommates for now.
She meets her guidance counselor.
Her guidance counselor right off the bat, and he is hot, you guys. Like I was like drooling over him when he walked out that elevator.
I had a great image of him in my mind.
Yes, rolled up, like okay, buttoned up shirt, rolled up sleeves. Like I hope the shirt's untucked. I have a thing for untucked buttoned up shirts. Like, I agree with that. And they meet and she's like, he's cute, but he's like the counselor or whatever, you know. I don't think they touched or anything, so they didn't get any of that warm zappy feeling, right? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. But she just like I think she even thought like he's like, you know, way out of the realm of possibility. And oh my gosh, I had such a crush on him. I think between him and Alec, those are my favorite. Like I would go between the both of them.
But then she meets, so Tyler's really sweet too, and sends her a box of all the supplies she needs because she didn't realize she needed supplies. Or
that was so nice.
So nice of him. And later we find out that she even saved the note that was like, here's the supplies you need, like it's basic like note, like, but she saved it. It was just so cute.
That was so cute.
And then she's walking with her roommates through the courtyard, and there's another variant who's like a fire variant, so you can like make fire. I love how I'm just like, he could just make fire. And he like throws it at her, but he's not very strong. And it doesn't get to her, but she didn't get phased by it. Like she didn't like jump or flinch or anything. So that intrigued him. And then like he kind of started pursuing her.
And you're kind of wondering because he's kind of hounding her a little bit.
But then she meets kind of Josh, which is like a friend too, but they never, it's not until like I can't remember. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry guys. Does she run into Tyler on her way getting lost, or does she? No,
I believe she runs into Tyler getting lost, and he like shows her around.
Yeah, but does she agree to going to the party with Ethan first? It's been it's like 3 books I read in a row for this, and it's like it's like the so anyway, so she Ethan finds her at a coffee shop. They touch arms. There's that like zappy warmth feeling that, you know, they describe in books. And then she meets Josh, and the same thing kind of does happen, but she's not thinking anything about it because she's not variant, and so that doesn't mean anything. It's just, oh, I'm warm. And then she gets lost one day. She runs into Tyler, and this is around campus, and he's like, oh, I'm going that way too. And she's walking, and all of a sudden in front of her is her honey voiced stranger.
Yes. And the hug, how she just is like,
she just runs up to him.
I was like, what is going on? I had that secondhand embarrassment.
I was so embarrassed for her, but I felt her excitement. This is somebody for over a year she's been searching for.
And
she runs up to him and hugs him, and everyone's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And you're thinking, why is everyone like, whoa, whoa, whoa? Like, yeah, together she's hugging him, but like, why is everyone like, you're hugging him? And you find out that, and he's mean though, like he's like, no, get off me, stay away from me. And then Tyler follows him, and she meets Scott and Charlie, who are like cousins.
Yes.
But you find out that he's known as the master of pain. So his special ability is to like
cause pain.
So and then you find out that Tyler, when we meet Tyler, he can learn the truth. So he can ask you questions, and depending on your answer, he'll know if it's a lie or if it's a truth. And then Dot has an animal one where she can like speak to the animals. And you find out that Charlie is her twin and also her vital. Oh my gosh, there's so much information, you guys. I feel like I'm teaching a lecture right now on this like world here. Do you want to explain, Megan, what a vital is before we move on? Do you remember? No.
I remember a vital. They can get that's how they get their energy from them.
So a vital gives the energy. So say like Charlie with Dot, and you know this because you read the book, right? If you're listening. So like by touch, he can like hold her hand and give her more energy to speak to more animals or whatever. Or like with Ethan with the fire, you know, by touch, he could do like a bigger ball of fire or move it further away.
It's more powerful. And they're needed.
So a lot of this book's like a back and forth of her like trying to like catch up with Alec and being like, I just want to say freaking thank you, and he's being an ass to her, to her finding out that she is Ethan's vital. So something happened to Ethan one night. He like overextended himself, and his energy went down to the point where he was like not going to survive, and she like felt it in her chest, runs through their house, strips out her clothes, and just like hugs him and saves his life. And that's how we find out that they're vitals. It's amazing.
And it's a very intense scene. I really like that scene a lot.
I did too.
And, like, she's confused too, like what's going on.
But she just let instinct take over, which I love. That she's like, I just feel this need. I need to come here. And then she does. And she's like, I can feel time's running out. I just need to get to him. And it was just like, wow.
Well, and then there's so much more because, you know, there's also the whole, why were they on the run? I love when we discover, is it this book that we discover that she had known them when she was younger?
So we find out at the end of the first book,
and
I think is when she or the beginning of the second one, there is the first chapter is like a flashback with her mom with all the kids. So you get like little Alec holding toddler Evelyn's hand, and like Ethan there and Josh there. So like you get like this whole what they were before they had to take off. So she finds out,
and how protective he is of her too. I loved that.
So they do have this whole path, and they are connected. So like I love the finding all that out, and her like learning about her mom and learning about that connection. And it's sad for all of them. So that's like one thing that you get through the whole thing is like, even with like Alec's story, is there's some damage that happened with her mom having to run. and then he thought it was because of his ability. So they actually, the grown-ups thought early on, they knew that Evelyn was Alex's vital, because she was
So
having
that's
like a tantrum and was glowing, and he had a sense that he needed to go to the house, and he, as soon as he got there, she stopped. And then that's when everyone was like, oh.
and
So
he
he
knew
thought,
that.
yeah, he knew that. So he knew that. He knew that. He knew the second he rescued her in the helicopter and touched her, he was like, this is my vital.
Yeah. And
And
he does
that's,
not want that because he's scared
of his ability. He doesn't want to,
of his pain ability. Yeah.
yeah. But then we do find out that he can take away pain for people.
And I love that. I think that was so big for him that he needed that. And he needed her to figure that out.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. It's like, okay, once they accepted, because he hurt her feelings a lot, you guys. And it was like,
yeah, that scene, that the almost sex scene, that was hard.
Yeah.
That was a difficult scene.
The study gate. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I wanted her to tell the guy, tell the other guys, and let them beat him up.
Yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't until she finally let Tyler in her head, I think. So everybody, Tyler ends up being the vital for all the guys.
I love when they figure that out. Yeah.
Yeah. And all their powers get stronger because of that. And they all have very strong, unique-ish powers, I feel like. And so that was like, they were trying to keep it secret and And yeah, I feel like once she everyone was like, what happened? What study gate? What happened at calling it study gate? I loved that. And then like finally when she let Tyler read her mind or whatever, the truth of what happened, and then they were like livid with Alec. But I mean, I was so bad. I'm so bad because I'm like, well, leave the guy alone. But
I wanted the drama.
He didn't use his words the right way. He felt bad for making her feel bad. He just
he's pushing her away because of fear. And I think he let it get too far. I really do like the Tyler thing. He just, the way that Evelyn perceived Tyler, he just did feel like with what they try to do with age gap, I think was accomplished really well between the two of them, because you did kind of feel this difference, and she almost kind of looked up to him, and he kind of exuded this power. Is why I liked him, where the authority and his position, and later on his position when they're fighting the war that we're about to talk about. But I really liked Tyler. I liked how their relationship was done. I found their chemistry interesting, and once they finally got together, I was just really invested in that storyline.
Yes, that one's very I don't want to say push pull, but kind of like he would do a little thing, and then it was like no, and so he pretty much drew a line saying like, we can't be together, and that was hard. But yeah, it was like partly because of the age gap, and then it was also because Alec asked him, because he knew when more of the group bonded, that it would make it that much harder for him to resist being with her too.
Yeah.
So and I love, did you remember that schoolgirl scene where she like borrowed a dress, her skirt and stuff,
God,
and then she met Tyler for their weekly meeting, and he wouldn't get up, and she's like, what did I do to piss him off and stuff, and then it finds out that was like his, like, it's like one of his fantasies.
Yes, that was hilarious. It was so great.
I love those like little things in it, and there was like a lot of drama, but there was also a lot of like fun times with her, with each of the guys, and then them as a group too, and then even like more of the other characters. And there's so much, we're not going to be able to cover it all.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
The whole war with her birth father, and why they're on the run, and all these attacks.
Yeah. Because so her birth father is not a good guy. He's the reason the mom was on a run. He has a variant DNA, but didn't have an ability, and found out that the mom, who's also a vital, can like, she was a strong vital too, and she could like take a variant's power and pass it on, but that would kill the other variants. But so forth. So there's like, he's like kidnapping,
experimenting.
vitals, and Charlie gets kidnapped and they have to rescue Charlie. They get a light hunter to help because she leaves. Evelyn leaves to try to push that along for them to find light hunters because they weren't even sure if they existed and stuff. And then Harvey, oh my gosh, don't let me forget about Harvey. I love Harvey. He's my second character love that I need more of. Harvey. I need to make sure he has a happily ever after.
He was very sweet, and I love that, like, they're platonic kind of, and it was so funny when they all show up there.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah.
Australia. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. But yeah, so there's like a whole war between the humans and the variants who think that they're better than humans, and like they're being played basically by the same guy, which is like very like, I mean, you can relate that to even like today with a lot of things. So like it's like these two sides, and then like really they're just being one charismatic leader is like leading them. And it all goes down to eventually a showdown between everybody.
Yeah, because they're like kidnapping and experimenting, and they want her because he thinks that he can recreate what he did with the mom to transfer powers over. So she gets betrayed by one of her best friends. That was tough, but I mean, she does redeem herself later on. That I thought that was a great storyline too. The betrayal, the guilt.
Yes, when she shows up with Dana, and I thought Dana,
who was all over.
But I love how she went past that because I thought she forgave too much because I was like, Dana was with Alec a lot. Dana's ability is to stunt people's abilities.
So he like, because he's so caught up on the pain thing. He's so messed up from his ability. So that was interesting how they formed a friendship.
But yeah, I love that she didn't really double cross, but they thought they did. And then there's like this whole like fight thing, but then Zara she steps in and actually like helps them. And then eventually Evelyn helps take away her like stolen ability because she didn't want it.
That's like, it's like dry. Like I think it was making her like sick, and her parents had forced her. Because people are being kind of almost brainwashed by, But then they figure out like he is just being absolutely abusive to everybody. He's a terrible, terrible man, hurting a lot of people. So
it was just the books.
So much.
There's so much, and it goes like it's just a roller coaster, and there's planning and what's going on, and like the gearing up for war, and then you also have this whole relationship with all this group,
and
being built, and then them being okay with like sharing and stuff too, and then it ends great. I liked the ending. I liked how they like built an extra room, like they built on the third story of their house, like a room for Evelyn that's like got a large bed in it, and like a nice big bathroom and a closet and stuff for like her to be with them, and they have like their own rooms too because they're like, we know you like your space. So like that's why I like so like, and each guy brings like their own thing to the table and their own like specialty thing. Like Ethan, I loved his cooking. Like I'm just picturing this big like like football player, and then he's like, oh, cook, But yeah, I totally knew, Megan. I was like, it's Tyler for you because he just seems like your.
It was Tyler. Yeah, it was early on. I was enjoying Tyler, and then because he's got that boss energy. But also I really did like the Alex storyline as much as like he would frustrate me with certain things. That's what made the story great, and that's what's so great about Reverse Harem. She's good with the other two guys. Pretty much from the start. They're like best friends. They suit her, and then she kind of has to work the other relationships. So I really like that. So you get to explore each relationship at their own pace. And the drama, which I love, and the mystery and the twists and the turns. It was a cool world too. It was a really great world building and the development, and it's kind of got what I like with TNR, which is kind of like the realism. It's like set in the real world, like you said. It's very X-Men, where some people have power, some people don't. Yeah, I really like that in a PNR where it's not just this like mythical fantasy world. It's the real world, but like a little different. Like, I don't know, it feels realistic. So
yeah. No, so I agree. It was a very good story. It was a little slow burny for me. I think the first book. I think I even might have texted you. I'm like, when do things get a little more steamy? Because I was like, I have a really hard time sometimes with slow burn. I'm like, stop teasing me. Give me what I need.
I love, see, that's the thing. I love me some slow burn. I do. Although I do like it when at least one relationship is like,
yeah. But yeah, I liked all the figuring out who was her vital or who was her variant as it went, like even like she knows Ethan is first. And then Josh though is attracted to her, and then they kiss, and then he finds out that he is as well, and then we find out Tyler is, and then we find out like it was just like,
and we like, and I think Jason like always known, so it just it was very interesting that they were the whole group. I love that.
It was the whole group, and Alec just kept his mouth shut. It's like, dude.
See, that's why he was frustrating at times.
Yeah, for sure.
I loved it.
Yeah. Anyways, very good book. I mean, if you did not read it, and that's the end of the episode, so but now you know, and now hopefully you'll go out and read it.
I feel like this is a good episode even if you didn't like it. I feel like we covered enough to where you could still read it. Like this is a good episode for like, if you haven't read it, we just convinced you to read it.
Yeah, there's a lot more. There's a lot more.
So much more,
things. If we went book by book when this was released, we'd go in more detail on a lot of other events that happened. But it's just it's a lot. It's a lot. You could get the box set, which also has bonus content, which are like deleted scenes and stuff that didn't get added. I actually started reading just like one book and then the next, and then I got the box set for the third book and the ending. That's how I did it.
So what are your hair in the book, Sarah?
So I did a audiobook series. I did it's Defiance Falls by Allie Dean. So it's like mafia meets high school soccer players romance.
Wait, so you have a sport mafia romance? Because I was just saying I want a sport mafia romance.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know if it's dark enough for you.
Gotcha.
But it's good. The audiobook is actually really, really good. It's a trilogy. And so I listened to all 3 in a row. So it was good.
Okay. So I think now I'm just gonna bring up a book series that I think would be good for after this. However, I want a disclaimer about this. There's this book series, it's Gifted Connections by S.M. Olivier. However, they came out a while ago, and book 5 is not out yet. It was going to be put out like a year ago, and then it had to be rewritten. But the author has said it's coming. And I think once it's complete, like people will start hearing about the series again. So it's been like 3 years since a book has come out for this series, maybe longer. So I am hesitant to talk about it sometimes, but I do believe the author's been putting out books and stuff. I do believe it's coming. And this is a cool series, and I like to revisit it. It's similar in that, okay, like with variants, they're connected. So there's one person who is kind of like their person. They all have powers, and it's a really good series. It's called Gifted Connections. I don't want to give too much away, but I still recommend it, and it does have a lot of twists and turns. So I think it's worth the read, even with book 5 not being out. To the point where I reread the first 2 a couple times.
Oh, so, there you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you everyone for listening. And I hope you enjoyed our chat about, I keep on calling it variant, but it's the Evelyn Maynard.
I know, I keep calling it variant too.
Yeah, that's what we call it. The variant.
Spiking.
Yeah. So enjoy it, and we will see you next time on Flip Over. Bye.
Bye-bye.